What's up, fam? Farmer Q here. We just out here in the backyard about to make our way to the garden back there, and we gonna get some work done today, and we gonna take y'all along with me as we get some work done today. We're gonna be tying up the Christmas pole lima beans onto the lattice. We're gonna be putting some stakes out for the tomatoes, and we'll work on whatever else we find out there while we're in the garden. So let's go ahead and get started with it, fam. All right, fam, we out here. So first thing that I wanted to show y'all was some of the stuff I'll be top dressing with. This is called BioLive. It is some amazing stuff. It works very well, has a very nice NPK balance of 5-4-2, so it's not going to cause too much nitrogen, but it's not going to give too much of the other stuff either. It's pretty well balanced, but it also is a really good microbial inoculant. It really adds some good beneficial microbes to the surrounding area. So we're going to top dress with some of this today in between the work that we do. So yeah. Next up, we have our 164 feet of red twist tie, and this right here, it has a cutter on the actual twist tie roll itself, so we're going to be taking full advantage of that, and we're going to really be using it to its potential. So there you go. Last but not least, we have our bamboo plant stakes. They're 4 feet tall. Obviously, the stakes are to stake up the plants, and we're going to be adding this to the falling corn plant. We're also going to be adding this to the tomato plants in the 4x4 bed, as well as the tomato plants inside of the pot over there in the corner of the garden area. So there you go. All right, fam, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna come over here and get this twist tie beans that are gonna climb up the lattices here. So we got our red twist ties over here, and we also have our hanging vines here that we need to get really back in action. So let's go ahead and get that started. Let's kind of pull this up a little bit, and we're going to just kind of hold it in place here for right now. We're going to take this twisty tie here that's already in place, and we're going to attach this plant onto the lattice on the bottom, and we're going to work our way up. So the first attachment point is right here. We're going to come around here like this. Got to really make sure that we got a good wrap on it, because we're using one hand to do this. So we want to really make sure that we are getting it secured, but we also want to make sure that we're not pinning the vine up against the wood, because we want to not cause any bruising on the actual bean vine itself. So we're going to get it pretty tight, but we're also going to leave some space for the vine to just kind of touch on it a little bit. So as y'all can see, we got the first vine started. Game going for these. I'm gonna get a piece of our tie here, and we're gonna bring the vine up the lattice. We're going to make another wrap point here, just like this. I don't know if y'all can see it. My camera work might be kind of shoddy here, but we'll do what we can. Really trying to make sure that we got both ends of the spectrum here. We're gonna twisty the tie, just like this. There you go, just like that. So now we're getting some establishment with our vining. So as we go forward, we're gonna take these vines and do the same thing as we go up the plant. As you can see, the plant is bringing out multiple vine points. It's getting warmer outside. We're gonna have work to do on this lattice, but it's gonna be okay. I love to give love to the plants. So as y'all can see, this vine over here is already kind of starting to do its wrap thing, but I want the vines to be front facing, because the leaves, the way that they're oriented, if I let the vines get behind the actual lattice, some of the leaves aren't gonna get sunlight. So we'll be tinkering with this a lot through the season, but that's okay, because I really want me some Christmas pole lima beans. So we're only going to do one plant tie on these short vines, because like I said, they're short vines. So we're going to bring this around town right here, and we're going to start our twisty. You don't got to go crazy with it to begin with. You just got to take your time and build up to it. So I need to give me a little more slack. There we go. And start our twisty right here, just like this. And as y'all can see, I'm twisting it to where the vines can keep growing, but the leaves are also on the front side of the actual lattice. So as these get longer, I'm going to keep these kind of going. But we got 2 more vines on this plant to actually get up on the lattice here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's drape this on my leg right here for now. We're going to get another twist tie piece, just like this. And we're going to come over here, wrap this around here like this. We got a little short piece here, so we got to be kind of careful with it. That's fine, it worked out. Or it is, no it's not. So we'll get another piece here. Make it a little bit longer. We'll bring it up again. We'll bring this around town, just like this. We will get this vine up in place, up in space. Get the twisty going. Just like that. So now our vine, this vine's a little weak, but we'll give it a point of growth. We don't want to leave it hanging, no pun intended. So we got 1 more vine to put in place here, and then we will let the rest of the vines start draping, and as they get longer, we will keep securing them to the actual points that we want to secure them to. So for this one, we'll kind of bring it around here, just like this. We'll hold the vine up in place, up in space. And we will get our twisty action going. This one wants to be a booger, but it's okay. We'll take our time. Hold this up with this hand right here, just like this. Get our twisty action going. And we're not going to twist it super tight. Just going to get it enough to where we can really get it to hang on to the place we want to hang on to. So now, as y'all can see, we got all the Christmas pole lima beans kind of up on the lattice for now. As they keep growing, we'll keep the vining going, but we want our fruit to have a nice place to really sit and be secure in place. So this is a really good setup for that to happen. So now we're gonna move on to staking up the tomatoes. So we got 3 stakes over here kind of sitting in place that we already have preordained for the pot over here. So we're gonna take these over to the pot. And we're gonna get these right in the middle of the pot, just like that. And we're gonna use these as the central points for these tomatoes to really stake onto, just so they can really be secure in what they do throughout their whole life. So we're gonna get these kind of close together. We're gonna drive them into the soil just like this. Just like that. And these are dwarf tomatoes, so this stake, it should do good for these. If we gotta add more support, we will. And I don't mind that the stake is kind of leaning sideways a little bit. It's all right. We could always bundle them together like that, which we probably will. So let's do that right now. Let's go ahead and bundle our bamboo stakes together. Let's wrap them. Won't take much, just 1 piece of twisty tie here. We're gonna bring them together like this. We're going to start at the top here, just like that. I'm gonna bring it close together. We're gonna start wrapping this just like this. Just like this, because this stuff is bread tie material. It'll stay relatively wrapped. I don't have to really worry about making sure it's wrapped all crazy and stuff. But now, as the tomatoes grow, we'll have a center point to kind of keep them in place. So that's good for those. Now we're gonna open these bamboo stakes up, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is perfect because I got 6 yellow gooseberry tomatoes over here. So we're gonna get these stakes in place, and we do have more staking action to go with the peppers over there, but we'll do that another day because they're not having any problems. These aren't having any problems either, but the tomatoes will more quickly start having problems as a result of not being staked up. So we're gonna start this stake action, and then if these stakes need to get taller, I could always just tie a bamboo stake on top of a bamboo stake and we can have some double action going. But here we go, just like that. So we have a stake for that tomato. We're gonna bring one over for this tomato over here. These tomatoes are healthy. So as you can see, this tomato right here kind of leaning a little bit. So we're gonna put this in a point where we can kind of correct the structure a little bit and really make sure that we're good to go in place. So we're gonna drive this stake right here, just like that. Boom. We got our second stake in place. Got a few more to go. One right here. I like to put the broad end at the bottom, gives it more support. Drive that down just like that. Boom. So we're gonna go ahead and stake this corn up that needs to have that additional help. So we're gonna put this stake right here beside this corn plant. We're gonna use it as the support for that corn as it grows. So we might be one stake short, but that's okay. We could just run in the house and get another one. But we got 3 tomato plants left and we got 2 stakes left. So let's go ahead and stake off 2 of these tomato plants right now, and then we will come back later with the extra stake. So we got one right here. Drive that down just like that. And we're gonna have one right over here. Got another tomato right over here in this area. So we're gonna drive this down right over here, just like that. So now, as y'all can see, we got some stake action going on in the garden. They're pretty stable. They don't need to be all that, but they're stable enough to actually hold the plants up in place. So we're good to go with what we have. So now what I'll do is I'll come around here and I'll get this plant, this corn plant, actually attached to the stake, because this plant was leaning something serious. So we're gonna go ahead and get this corn wrapped around the stake mechanism. We're gonna make sure that we can get a good camera view on it, but it doesn't take much. We're just wrapping the twisty tie around the corn and around the stake so that the corn can stay supported. The corn is now strong. It's now gonna keep growing upward. That's all we really wanted with that stake. What we probably can also do is double this stake as a support for this tomato plant right here, so we don't have to bring an extra stake out. So we'll just use it just like that. Now what I'm gonna do is come through and top dress some of the plants with this BioLive. I'm gonna top dress some of the mature corn plants, the potted tomato plants, some of the peppers, and that's it for now because we'll be harvesting the kohlrabi soon. So I'll top dress the area with this after we harvest the kohlrabi, before we plant the next round of plants that are gonna be in that area. But for now, we'll just top dress what's gonna be staying around and what's the most mature at this point. So let's get it. I like to take this whole bag out. And then, oh, there's a hole in the bag. That's nice. So what I'll do with this hole right here, since we want to have a hole in the bag, I'll just use this hole as a top dress pouring point. So let's go ahead and top dress some of the plants over here. You know what? I'll just pour it into my hand from here. Just like that. Yeah, some's gonna get on the ground, but whatever. We'll top dress some of the beans with it. Some of the squash with it over here. Come over here and pour it from this point right here. There we go. Get some of that spread out. Okay, boom, just like that. Scratch that around a little bit. Gonna come over here to the corn, just like this. Gonna just spread it around a little bit with our hand. Once we get a nice amount spread on the top dress area, we really want our corn to have some good fruiting, some good corn kernels and everything. So we just scratching that around, spreading it around a little bit. We're gonna go on the other side and do the same thing. Come over here, sprinkle a little bit right here, right there, right there, right there. Since it's got a hole in the bag, we can just kind of do a little sprinkle action going on. Sprinkle some over here, just like that. We'll come over here to the tomato plants. We'll sprinkle some right on the middle right here. Oh, the hole got bigger. Just like that. Shake it off the leaves. Just trying to get a nice little sprinkle of top dressing in there. There's 2 holes in the bag. Huh. We'll sprinkle some more up in here. We'll even sprinkle some on the pots that don't have plants in them just yet. Just a little bit. Let's really get that going. Put some on this bag over here. Well, what I might do, since this bag's busted, I'll just make this a garden top dress and just shake this bag over here and just really get this going in the whole area a little bit. Let's try to get some more microbial inoculation, some more nutrients in the area. As it rains, this stuff's gonna wash down into the bed, really just denutrifying the plants and everything. I'm just coming through and shaking some down in the beds. Oh, this stuff is kind of hard to overdo. I'm just coming and giving it a nice general spread so we can really just take advantage of the holes in the bag. We're gonna get another bag of this stuff because I really don't want to keep a bag with holes in it. So we just coming through the garden, get some of the cucumbers over here, little potato cucumbers, spread it all along the side, let it run down the middle a little bit. Got our watermelons over here. Gonna sprinkle a little bit on top of these. Some of the watermelons might not make it, but the bigger of the watermelon, they're looking good, so we'll keep them going. Oh man, look at here. We got beautiful peppers to harvest and stuff, so we'll do that later. I'm gonna sprinkle that here, sprinkle that here, sprinkle it all up in here, sprinkle some up in there, sprinkle some over here, sprinkle some all around the garden area around the peppers. We got mushrooms all over the place over here. I'm gonna sprinkle some over here. Just get a real good spread in the garden. We'll come over here. We got some peppers and okra and desi squash. So we'll kind of sprinkle some in this area over here a little bit too. Give some to the collard greens because they like it. They need some nutrients after getting cut up like they were. So we'll give some to the collard greens as well. Just coming around and doing the general broadcast. We got holes in the bag, so we just really taking advantage of the bag leaking. Like I said, the kohlrabi area will get some later on, but we'll keep what's left in this bag right here for the kohlrabi area once we come through and spread it on out and everything. We'll even have some put in the herb beds and everything like that too. But for now, I think I'm pretty satisfied with what we got down. As more rains come and everything, we're gonna be able to wash this stuff into the garden a little bit better. And when we come back out to stake the peppers, we'll be pulling some of these grass weeds out here because they're starting to get a little out of hand for what I like. So yeah, go ahead and pull this guy right now. You looking rude. You looking real rude up in the garden. Boy, y'all looking rude. All the grass being rude in the garden. Nobody told y'all be rude up in my garden. What's up, little wolf spider? You gonna eat up some of the pests for me, buddy? I appreciate it. We gonna head on in. I gotta show y'all one more thing before we head in. So y'all, check this out. This is my liquid fertilizer that I've been making at home, or that I have made at home over the past 10 months, 9 months, something like that. But we are at maximum fermentation at this point, y'all. Check this out. So this right here literally has the smell of composted cow manure. It doesn't have any pungency to it anymore. It doesn't have any kind of crazy, like just obnoxious odor to it. It smells very stable and I'm super excited to use this stuff. I got my paint strainer bags. Much love to GG Naturals. Put us onto the paint strainer bag method. We're gonna mix this stuff up into the medium, and we're gonna actually strain up some good old nutrients. We're gonna make like a good 5-gallon bucket bag so we can have some to go for a while. But this stuff lasts, it gets better over time. Different people call it different things. I learned about this stuff as Jadam liquid fertilizer, and I just kind of made my own concoction, called it Spirit of the Garden, and that's what we're dealing with right now with it. But Miss Linda, she calls this stuff Super Juice. GG Naturals, Eco Neighbor, they call it Funk Juice. But the longer you let this stuff ferment, the more stable and the more nutritious it's going to be for your plants. So I just wanted to show you all that real quick before we headed inside to call it quits on the video. All right, fam, we got the work done. Now we're about to head to do some more work out in the field out there. So I had a good time out there messing with the garden, get some stakes up, getting those plants tied up, doing some top dressing today. Even had fun finding out we had a hole in our bag. So we just make the most out of everything out here at Lioncrest Outdoors, and we're really having a good time while we do it. So y'all know what that means, right? That's Farmer Cute out.